We are getting some idea tonight on what might have motivated rioters to storm the Capitol on January 6th. According to a soon-to-be published study from Harvard, a majority of insurrectionists say it was former President Donald Trump. Roughly 20% say their actions on January 6th were in support of Trump. Another 20% credit their response that day to Trump's claims of a rigged election. And get this, nearly 8% of rioters say they thought they were participating in a, quote, revolution, civil war, or secession. Others cited other reasons like historical significance, peaceful protest, even a general interest in violence. NBC News senior reporter Ben Collins joins us now to break down this data. Ben, it's great that you guys got this early. It's not been published yet, but researchers shared their findings with you and with NBC News. What are we learning?
Yeah, we're learning what we already thought we knew, which is part of why they did this study. I talked to Joan Donovan, who runs the Shorenstein Center at Harvard, and she says that good sociology confirms the stuff you already knew. And that's exactly what happened here. This confirms that most of the rioters who went there, plurality of them, went there because Donald Trump expressly told them to. You read this in the 470 charging documents that came through the U.S. District Court out of D.C., and that's where they got all this stuff. And in those charging documents, you get things like, it's straight up admissions from people, but you also get people admitting to stuff in social media in the days before the events, saying things like, Kelly Meggs from the Oath Keepers said on Facebook days before the events. He said, Donald Trump told us it will be wild. He's telling us to make it wild. So it's that sort of thing. It's 417 of the rioters. It's the largest study yet. And this is what they found.
There were, I read some of them, a lot of motives cited by the rioters, general interest in violence, protecting and taking back the country. Even QAnon was one of them. How does the polling and this data compare to what, I don't think there is anybody that I know that is deeper on these message boards in Discord than you are. How did it compare to what you were seeing leading up to the attack in those places?
Yeah, Jacob, this pretty much checks out identically to what we thought. And we did think, we thought there were a handful, but probably about 6 or 7% of people who were there and got swept up in it and just wound up in there because they thought they were peacefully protesting. And that was the number that showed up there. But otherwise, there were mostly people there to either overthrow the government, try to get some election result that didn't happen, pushed through, or just to show force for President Trump. Those are the top 3 reasons. That's what we thought was happening. And we saw about a handful of people in overt QAnon paraphernalia in the Capitol, and that was, it showed up as 4% of people. That checks out too.
You know the names of these people off the top of your head. You follow this stuff so closely. Are the folks, the type of folks, who were studied and polled and researched by Harvard, are they standing by these motivations after the fact today?
Yeah, some of them are. And some of these people, by the way, just admitted on Facebook beforehand. Some of these people didn't admit it to the feds afterwards. But most of them are. Some of them are still, are pushing the same lies that they were pushing beforehand. Some of them are serving time right now for the stuff that they did on January 6th. A lot of them view themselves as political prisoners or dissidents in general. They believe that they didn't do anything wrong that day, that they were participating in the revolution. And as you can see over the last couple of years, Donald Trump is warming up to that kind of rhetoric, that these people didn't do anything wrong, that this was either a setup or these people were just angry at the time. That's what you hear out of him. So that's what you hear out of his supporters recently.
Yeah, I just want to put up this quote from Mr. Rodriguez, Daniel DJ Rodriguez, one of the Capitol rioters. If he's commander-in-chief and the leader of our country and he's calling for help, I thought he was calling for help. I thought we were doing the right thing. It's not lost on me that this is all taking place, being released as the January 6th hearings are unfolding. Is this type of argument, are these types of research, is this type of research being undertaken by Harvard, do you think going to be folded into or play into the hearings?
I would think so. It's being sort of telegraphed in the hearings. You see basically the same findings, that these people over and over again say the same stuff. Donald Trump told me to be there, therefore I went there. and I went to the Capitol from the ellipse because he told me to go to the Capitol from the ellipse. It's something that we've heard over and over again. But Jacob, I do want to say this. It's important to stress this to regular people all throughout the country, even though it sounds very obvious to us. Like, of course, Donald Trump did this. Yes, of course. If you turn on Fox News, or if you turn on Newsmax, or if you just open up Facebook or Breitbart or something like that, it is not that obvious. People still believe Antifa did it, or that it was a setup by the feds. Oh, and they are tuning out the January 6 hearings. So to have this sort of academic research in the public record is really important.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.